saying is that in these curriculums that are handed to us to then teach, it should be included as part of the information that is given.
But it shouldn't be, because
how is it harmful? Is I guess my how is it harmful?
How is it harmful?
Yeah.
Okay. How is it helpful? When it comes down to
I've actually
children,
already explained that it kind of makes your kid a better person. Like, they recognize that there are other people in the world who have different experiences, and that it's okay for these people to be different and to have these different experiences, and therefore they will go out and maybe not hurt someone simply because they're different. So that is how it's helpful.
Most kids do not go out there and hurt people. There are bad people out there.
Really, because there is a bullying epidemic, and there has been for a long time. So yeah, kids do hurt other kids.
Yes.
But if we taught them about differences, then they wouldn't.
So the same thing we can go about with guns, and that
they would be less likely to hurt someone else if they knew better about them.
And see, this is where I have to disagree. There's going to be bad people out there because there's bad parents out there. Bad parents out there produce bad kids. That will always
be a thing. So, I think that we agree on that, actually. That will always be a thing. But we are talking about harm reduction, making it less, right? We aren't taking it out altogether, because yes, there will always be bad people. There will always be bullies, probably, but if we can reduce that, then why not?
And see, I can't say I can argue completely on this, but now you have to give me something back in return, because I feel like our kids, when it comes down to I'm not going to say kindergarten, third grade, because obviously it should be very basic. Very basic.
Mm-hmm. Age appropriate.
I feel like we're failing our kids when they start getting up there, because I feel like the government now wants to push college and everything like that, where a lot of kids are more hands-on. They want to do the mechanic stuff.
That has been going on for a long time. I actually felt kind of duped into going to college, because it was this like push to be the first in your family to go to college or whatever. Yeah. I can agree with that.
Thank you.
So I feel we should respect that different people have different paths, different things that they're good at. Things are different about people.
And I already know where you're going with this, but yes. But now I'm trying to make sure I word it correctly where you don't. Well, honestly, I don't think you'd kick me. I feel like
I'm not trying to kick anyone. Unless you were to sit here and call me slurs and try to insist that I'm a woman without, just over and over and over again, that would be what I would kick someone for. But trying to make a point and maybe not wording it very well, I'm not going to kick you for that.
Thank you. I want the best for our kids. And I can understand the point of view that you do have and how you want it to go. But at the same time, and obviously this is just a guesstimation, but there's about half the generation that's going to argue with you. And that's so can we so we just agreed upon saying how they took out certain aspects of high school and whatnot, which was hands-on. Can we start bringing back those things before we try to add other things that obviously half the population's not going to believe in? If that makes sense.
Why not both?
Well,
honestly, I will actually go further. Education needs a reform. It needs to be overhauled
Thank you.
I'm
Yes.
not sure what the answer is for that, but
Yep.
it is honestly not a good situation in the first place. But I do think that both of those things, LGBTQ history issues, all of that should be included. But yes, we need more hands-on type training and things. There are lots of things that need to change about education, but that doesn't invalidate that LGBTQ issues isn't part of it doesn't take that away
Okay.
to say that
Okay.
we need to do other things.
Yes, but now see, this is also the crappy thing because now obviously I'm not sure where you live. I live in a very small town of 6,000. So say if we have one transgender in our population or that's going to school or
How
anything.
many?
So now
How many people did you say?
6,500 ish.
6,500. So if you want to figure out what the rough number probably is, statistically speaking, it's roughly 2% of a population. About the same as redheads, actually.
Okay, but also now you have to consider the old people, middle aged,
Yeah, you might have
everything.
one who's open about it, but they're
Correct.
gonna exist at a higher rate than you think.
So, okay, and which is fine. So now we have to adjust our whole education system for maybe one or two people.
Yes, because those one or two people are still valid and their experiences matter.
Yes,
And
it does. It does. But we can't just keep giving in to the minority. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be best for the majority. Is that an issue?
yes, because I think that it's actually best for the majority to learn about us.
Okay, but now once again, if you are part of the minority saying this, and the majority is saying like, well, no, whether it's 15 minutes a day or whatever, it's like, well, no, I feel like they could be working on the division table, multiplication table, and they could be better so that it will succeed them more later on once they graduate because they'll be getting the extra 15 minutes per day learning about this other than on how somebody feels. Because, okay, now can I ask you a personal question here?
Yeah.
Once this live is done, do you think you care or do you think you'll think about me again unless we do have another debate?
I mean, I would probably reflect on this conversation. Yeah.
But no, I mean, do you care about what I think and how I view you?
Not really, no. But that's because I have come to a place in my own existence where I don't care what other people think about me. I used to care a lot, and that was when I was trying not to be trans, even though I am. I
So
cared a
why not
lot.
teach that?
I didn't want to hurt anyone, but in order to actually come out and start a transition, I had to get into this headspace where I don't care what other people think. So
Okay. So now,
I just
then
need to be
why do
me.
you want that explained to kids when they're so young that no matter what anybody else thinks, you have to appreciate, which most of the time, as adults now, we go home, we have our own lives. Like we
Okay,
pick
well,
our
it
friends.
isn't even really about appreciating. I don't appreciate math. In fact, I fucking hate math, but I still have to learn it in school, right? So whether you like it, you still should learn about things. I'm
I
really
would
not
say
understanding why there is opposition to more information, more education. I don't see why that's a problem, especially when it's going to make them a more well-rounded part of this world where yes, they're going to come in contact with trans people and it could color how they respond to that person. You know what I mean? So would you want them to be a
yes.
good, respectful person who understands other people and doesn't treat them like shit because they understand them? Or would you
And see
rather them
this
be ignorant and not know anything about it and then be harmful to somebody else? What do you want for your kids? Do you want them to be harmful to other people because they
honestly,
didn't learn about something, or do you want them to be good people because they did?
And see, this is where we'll argue, is because like when my kids come home and they have questions, they'll ask. So if it like, why do they have two dads or such and such?
Yeah, and if
I'd
you,
explain it.
as the hypothetical parent, see, but there are parents who would respond to their kids by saying, well, their dads are gross, they're wrong, blah blah blah, which is inaccurate information. So leaving it to parents can
Correct.
actually cause
Correct.
more harm.
Okay, but now, okay, so now say it's taught in school and they bring it home and talk to their parents about it and like, well, no, they're wrong.
Well, their
Do
parents
you
could
think you
probably be
have?
better educated also, but that's a different conversation.
Well, yes, but see, now this is the case. Who do you think they're going to side with? Somebody that they're with close to 24/7, 7 days a week, or the teacher that they see that gives them homework? Like,
I mean, again,
doctor, you don't
this is all like nuanced and based on individual family situations and blah blah blah, but if
yes,
in general it is included, then we're talking
bad
about a
people will
harm
create bad
reduction,
people.
right? See, kids
Good people.
still have their own thinking, right? So they've got this teacher who is giving them factual information, and then they go home and they talk to their parents, who are probably going to emotionally respond to that. So we've got a teacher who's like, even kilter, teaching it just like everything else in a very calm manner, blah blah blah, and then you go home and you tell it to your dad, and your dad gets mad about it. Well, who are you going to listen to? The person who was calmly talking about it, or the person who got angry about it?
Well, yeah, but it's a catch-22 because now you're just using a very specific point of view there, because obviously
Right,
you already talked about dad, so you're already putting down men. But when it comes down to school, but I mean, it depends on what you see day to day. Like my kids, if they come and ask me questions, yes, it's like, okay, if they, okay, I'm trying to make sure I point. Okay, if my son came up and asked me, okay, what is a transgender? I'd have to say,
hopefully.
Pardon?
It was just a correction of the language to say what is a transgender, but you don't put person on the end of it. It makes us sound like an object. It objectifies us a little bit. So it's just a correction of language use.
And see, like the like I'm not trying to put you down.
I know, and that's why I calmly just corrected it, and we can move on.
Okay, and like I said, I can apologize.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. I'm not offended. I was just educating.
Pardon?
I wasn't offended. I was just educating.
Okay, and I will accept that. But now if I do not believe in your views, now I can tell him a certain way, which would honestly make transgenders extremely upset, correct?
I mean, yeah, if you call them transgenders and not transgender people, yeah, that would probably make a lot of trans people upset, actually. Because we're people, we're not objects.
Okay, I'm not trying to make you objects or anything like that.
I know, but language matters. Words matter.
Yes.
And how you use them changes the meaning, right? You would agree that language matters and that language has meaning.
Yes.
So if you're going to talk about trans people, put the word people on the end of it. We are not transgenders. We are transgender people.
Oh, I wish my buddy would be on here. He would help me out. He's actually transgender, and we get along very well.
That's
good. But explaining to my kids, because obviously I don't understand. And since
you don't understand, you're probably not qualified to actually teach them about transgender people. Whereas the teacher who's got curriculum fits.
I could say correct because I don't completely understand, but also
Kind of like how I'm not qualified to teach my kids math because I'm terrible at it. So I would leave that up to a math teacher. So whenever my kids are learning history, it's probably good to let the history teacher teach that and what that curriculum that is standardized is. I'm simply saying that, LGBTQ history and information, general information, we're not talking about inappropriate sexual topics. We're talking about information about LGBTQ people. That's it, right?
okay.
We should leave that up to qualified, trained, degreed professionals.
No, you leave
Just
it up to
just like we leave math
parents.
teachers to teach math, right? And then parents can sort of supplement this while they're helping, with their homework. But honestly, like if you don't
No,
understand, then you're not qualified to really teach your kid, are you?
well, no. Once again, you already said homeschool, but you know how the government fucks everything up.
Well,
I
yeah, I can
mean,
tell you that. I
so I
think we
mean,
agree
the
there.
government. So the government's already screwed up because obviously I don't think we should be teaching the kids what we should be teaching them already. And I
Yeah.
will argue with you upon that because I feel like there's so many other things that we should be teaching where I'd have a hard time fitting that in
Yeah. And I think that
because
we
I
already agreed that education needs an overhaul and to be reformed altogether. I think we already agreed on that point.
yes we did. And so I guess that'll be my 2 cents on how to argue about it. If you can fit it in, it's like, because like I said before, what you do behind your own doors, and especially once you turn to adults, I mean, I don't know if it's just our generation here. I was born in 87. I'm considered millennial. I don't care
You were born
about
in 87.
87.
I was
I
born in
don't care if
85.
you're,
So we are peers.
yes. And I don't care what you do behind closed doors. I
Yeah, but
don't.
I also exist in public as a trans person.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I have to encounter other human beings, and a lot of them don't know accurate information about trans people. So again, what you don't understand, you come to fear it because you don't understand it. Then, because you fear it, you start to hate it. Once you hate it, you're very likely to lash out against it. And that's why LGBTQ people are hate crimed. It's because people hate us because they fear us because they don't understand us. So let's attack the problem at the not understanding part and give kids more education.
Okay, but like I said before, the education, yes, you could give it to my child and he would be okay with it. But now people who hate it are going to fight against it and they're going to rebel, correct? Because
I
that's
mean,
what
yeah, because
bad
they
people do.
themselves don't understand the topic either.
Yes. So what are you trying to teach? Because either honestly, I could see it both ways. You're just gonna piss off the bad parents who obviously hate it or anything like that, and
I
they're
mean,
going
that's
to.
that's that's kind of a them problem if they're not willing to learn. You know what I mean? But I think that we can break this generational problem because people always say, "Oh, well, I'm older, and that's why I don't get it." Well, okay, so let's do better for the next generation, right?
But now you just said that's a them problem, which
I
now
mean,
they
it
would say that's a
it kind of
you
is
problem
if
right
if
now.
they are unwilling to learn, right? That is something that I can't really help them with if they're unwilling to learn.
Correct. I will agree. And honestly,
And that's
like
like on like any
I,
any topic. If you're not willing to learn it as a teacher, I can't really help you. Um, you have to want to learn and you have to want to
oh yeah.
understand. But some people are so deep in their hate because they fear, because they don't understand, that they don't realize that it's because they don't understand it. They just know that they hate it and it's passionate. And that is how people like me end up dead. And in fact, I will also go on to point out that it's actually much more likely for trans women to be attacked in a violent way or to be unalived. Trans men tend to be honestly, a lot of people don't even realize that trans men exist. We get kind of, it's almost like we people just don't even realize that we're even here. Um, and also, it's a little more socially acceptable, and that is based in misogyny. Because it's somehow better to be a man than it is to be a woman. So someone who transitions from male to female, oh, that's a bad thing, right? Well, why? Are you saying that women are bad? That's
See, this is
misogyny. But that's
yes,
a whole other issue.
yes, and shouldn't we solve? God, we as a nation we can't solve shit. Can we agree on that? Like,
Yeah, that is how it seems. And again, it tends to come down to an unwillingness to learn.
and yes, I will have to. I can't argue that. I can't. Um, there's always got to be give and take, correct? I mean, to
Not when
get
it comes
something,
to someone's human rights, but
I
yeah.
I'm sorry,
I
there's always
deserve
give and
the
take.
right to work. I deserve the right to health care. I deserve the right to all the same things that you have rights for. That's that's
I
that's that's human rights. And saying that I don't simply because of something that is about me that I can't change, that is discriminatory and wrong.
okay, but now if you have, I just use generalized population here, 50% of the people saying that you could choose different. See, because that's what they believe in. You can't
And
just
that
say they're
belief is
wrong.
wrong. And it's because it's not their experience. They don't understand
Yes,
and they're
yes,
unwilling to learn.
but you cannot.
So,
I'm sorry, like I can't just go into another country and say, "Hey, new laws here because of me." Like it's a little bit new. Um, not everybody's going to be behind it. It's going to take some time. Like, can you also understand that process too? Or else they
well,
die
sure,
off,
but
and then you
thing
don't
is,
have
like,
to
I
deal with
was
them.
born in this country. I'm not going to some other country and trying to make laws, right? I was born in this country, so I should have just as many rights as you do.
Okay, now what rights can I can I ask? What rights don't you have?
In more than one state, it is perfectly legal for a medical professional to let me die, that simply because, based on their religious beliefs, they don't have to treat me. So yes, that is
And
limiting
I'll say
my
that
access to healthcare. So yes, healthcare, I should have just as much access to healthcare as you.
yes, 100%.
So that's
I
just one
will,
example.
and I guess I never knew that. I felt I
Oh yeah,
guess
yeah.
from the
If I
shows
was
I've
if I
watched
was
and
in a car accident and the EMTs who showed up, if they have strongly held religious beliefs, they can choose not to and let me die right there on the street.
but how
And
would
it
they know?
would be legal. Well, because
But how would they know?
in a car accident situation, right? It could be that I'm unconscious and they need to strip my clothes off in order to have access to my whole body, right? And as soon as you do that, you start to see scars here. You see,
Sure.
if the
Which you
pants
could
have to
have
come off, you're gonna
cancer,
know, right? And as soon
but
as
you
they
could
figure
have
out that I'm
cancer
trans, they could choose not to treat me.
and see this is where I
And I mean, this is
have
just
that
one example. Somebody in the chat said,
sure.
housing, jobs. These are all things that LGBTQ and especially trans people are discriminated against in. So, like a landlord could choose not to rent to me because I'm trans, but I should have
Okay.
access to housing the same way you do.
And yes, I will say yes. I will, but now it's also you want to take over the ability of somebody else in allowing them to do whatever they want to do. Correct?
No,
Like
I'm saying
I
that things
honestly,
like, food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, these basic human rights that are constitutionally protected should be for
somebody
all
renting a
people.
house to you, that is a business for them.
It is, and there should be the same restrictions for everyone, such as like, you like definitely have to pass a credit check, a background check to live places, right? But discriminating against me simply because I'm transgender, saying,
I would
"Oh,
say
I'm
that's
not I'm
wrong.
not going to
Yes.
rent to you because of that." That is restricting my access differently than it restricts yours. Now, both of us would have to pass background check, right? So that's something that's across the board. We would both,
Sure.
credit
Yes.
check, whatever. But to say that you get to because you're a cisgender man, but I don't get to because I'm a transgender man, that is discrimination and it's wrong. And
Yes.
it is
Yes, it
it is
is.
limiting my
But
rights.
now you want to take rights away from someone and give them
Who am I
to
taking
another
rights
person.
away from?
From the
How does
person who
how
wants
does
to
me having
rent.
equal rights to you take away someone else's rights? Explain that to me.
No, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to say that,
I
but I
mean, that
mean,
was
like,
literally what you just said, and that's why I responded to it. So,
and but if okay, so now
yeah, rights
say
are not pies, somebody said. Just because I have
no,
rights doesn't mean you don't get rights.
and it's hard to say. It's hard to fight against because I understand what you're saying, but now I get to choose. Say if I was renting out houses, whatever, yada yada yada. I had my own business because you are allowed the right to not serve anybody. You're allowed that right.
Sure,
Correct?
it's just that refusing to serve someone simply on the basis of
And that's a shitty
their
thing
their
because now you
their
have to prove
gender,
it.
that is discriminatory. So, okay,
Yes.
so let me ask you this. Do you think that it's right or wrong that often that like employers will want to employ men over women? Because that's still gender
I
discrimination. It's just a different kind. So is that not wrong to like not offer women a job but only offer men?
yeah, no, I think a lot of things are wrong in
Right. So
today's
basically what
society.
I'm saying is let's correct what is wrong.
Okay. But now, once again, you have to agree because if half the population thinks that trans is wrong, and I'm just guessing, like, don't quote me on anything because I honestly think Republicans, liberals, we could all be okay with people being trans. But now I'm just saying, if it's a 50-50 thing, like you want people to abide by your rules because you feel like you need those rules.
No, I simply want the same rights as everybody else. That's it.
Okay, so then
It's not about
follow
me
the
trying to
same.
make up arbitrary rules or that like I would have something special. It isn't about something special or like extra. It's simply having the same rights as you.
Okay, so now if we say you were born with a penis, you have to use the men's bathroom.
I use the men's bathroom every day. Nobody
Okay,
knows, my friend.
but I mean, there's also people out there who will resist that.
But the thing is, most of the time, like you have probably been in the bathroom with a trans person. You just didn't know it.
Sure.
But to like try to actually like legislate that and to gatekeep who belongs in which bathroom, right? That is invasive and it also puts trans people in danger. You understand? So like if
Okay,
if
but
if
in the
there
same
was
sense,
laws saying like you have to go to the bathroom based on your sex assigned at birth, right? First of all, that would be very
so a
dangerous
simple
for
guideline.
trans
It's a
women because
simple
they would get
guideline. You're
attacked in the
born with a
men's room.
penis. Use the bathroom that is designated for the penis.
Okay, but let me tell you why that's dangerous for trans women. Okay, trans women going into the men's room, they are so very likely to have violent reactions from the men in that bathroom. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Um,
Okay, but now in the
but
same sense,
also, we
my
got to flip the
5-year-old daughter,
coin.
who I
We got to flip
cannot
the
go into the
coin.
same bathroom with her, and trans person could go into the same. I will not put my daughter at that risk.
What risk? Okay, because you are actually
Exactly.
afraid of cisgender men. You are not afraid of trans women because trans women
So
are
now,
just trying to
but
pee,
you just
just
told
like
me a
anybody else.
fully trans person of age was at more risk being an adult. My daughter's 5.
Okay,
So an
now
adult trans
let me flip
walking
this for
into
you
the other bathroom.
with your 5-year-old here. Let me flip this for you. If that kind of law was made, right? Everybody has to go to the bathroom that matches their sex assigned at birth, right? That is the law, and you have to do that. Let's say that you didn't know that I was transgender, right? But by that law, I would actually be in the women's room with your daughter. Now, just looking at me, you would think there was a man in that bathroom, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen you, so I mean,
You
possibly
can see
yes.
me. I am on the screen. I'm kind of tiny, but I look like a man. And so if the law was made to where you have to go to the bathroom that matches your sex assigned at birth, I would be in a women's room. I would be forced to go in there. But trust me,
And
it would raise
honestly,
a bunch of eyebrows. People
there,
would think that I was a man in the woman's room,
okay,
which would
yes, I
actually also
understand that.
put me
Yep.
in danger because of dads, kind of like yourself, right? If you saw me go into the ladies' room while your wife and your daughter were in there, would you not want to confront me whenever I came out of there?
Oh, correct. I'm
Correct.
not saying you're lying, but now there's the opposite of that
But see,
spectrum.
trans women
Correct.
aren't a threat. What you are worried about is predators, right?
Yes.
Trans people are not inherently predators. Does that
So
make
there's
sense?
never been one.
Oh, there are predators from every demographic of like
Yes.
people. There are
Yes.
predators I mean, predators are going to be predators no matter what you do for the law, right? But
Correct.
trying to legislate where trans people can go to the bathroom, assuming that we're all predators, that is false, and it's actually going to
Correct.
cause more
Correct.
problems.
Would you rather maybe? Okay, so now I never said you're a predator, but I'm a father.
I am too.
I I will take care of my own. And if I feel like you were a threat to my my family, would you stop it? I would.
I mean,
If
yes,
I
but
felt
again, you are
feelings,
scared of
yes.
predators. You're not scared
No,
of
I'm not
trans people.
scared. Me, myself, I am not scared. I have a 5-year-old daughter.
And I've got a 12-year-old daughter. What is your point?
So what would you do to protect her?
I mean, I would do whatever I needed to, but the
Exactly.
thing is, I'm not looking at a specific group of people
Either
assuming
am I.
that they are a predator. So a trans woman being in the women's bathroom, that trans woman is much safer in there, and your daughter is still safe because she's still a woman. She's just going to the bathroom. She's just washing her hands afterwards, maybe checking her makeup in the mirror. Okay?
So you don't
She's
feel
not
like
there
any
to hurt
person has
somebody.
ever lied about being transgendered? is what I'm asking now.
That actually doesn't happen, by the way, because a predator, if a predator wants to hurt your child in the bathroom, they are not going to go to all of these transitional lengths just to do that,
Correct.
right? They're just going
Correct.
to go after them. So no,
So
that is
same with
not happening.
anybody.
Men are not dressing up falsely as women, trying to be convincing so that they can get in there. If they want to go in there and essay somebody, they're just going to do it. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So assuming that a trans woman is somehow trying to trick their way into that bathroom so that they can hurt somebody, that is just wildly untrue. She just needs to pee. She just needs to wash her hands and maybe check her makeup in the mirror on the way out, just like any other woman.
Sure. Correct. I'm not disagreeing, but now what we're doing is opening up doors, because now this is just another way for somebody to get away with it. If you cannot see that,
No, because again, it's not
sexual
happening
assault
though. That
or
is not
SA,
something that
sorry.
happens. And if it
So it's
has, then it
never
was like a
happened.
rare once or twice where somebody maybe tried that. But guess what? They didn't get away with it, because whenever
Good.
like I've actually heard of, I think maybe two cases of where someone tried that. But what they do is these police officers who ultimately get involved, they then look into that person's history and they realize this person isn't actually trans. They're actually usually cisgender man who is
Sure.
a predator, right? So you're actually not worried about trans people, you're worried about cisgender people. Does that make sense?
And I could say correct. Yes.
So,
I could agree with that. Yeah. But in the same
so
sense,
again, this is
I
why
don't know you.
we don't
If
need
I
these
don't know
laws.
you, but why should I trust you in the same sense? When it comes down to it, I will guarantee you, I will bring my daughter, I don't know, whatever age, and I will bring her into the man's washroom just because I am there.
Well, yeah, at the age of 5,
Nobody's gonna fuck with
that
her.
is appropriate, right? For you to be, to like have her in the bathroom where you can monitor and all of that, or send her into the ladies' room with mom, right? But my daughter, she's 12, she's capable of going to the bathroom by herself, and
Mhm.
I would not be at all worried about having my daughter in the ladies' room with a trans woman present.
Okay, and
Because
that is
I know
your
that
belief, and you are welcome to your belief, but
it's
you
not a
have to
belief, it is
understand.
facts that just because someone is a trans woman does not mean that they are a predator. That's a
I
fact.
never said a predator. You are welcome to believe on who you can trust, just like any parent does. I do not just leave my kids with anybody. I will
Oh yeah,
never
neither do I.
leave my kids with just anybody.
Again,
So,
me too.
so, so then how am I wrong? Because I don't want my kids going off with somebody who, and once again, I could say it as a mental disorder, health issue, because that is what I believe in.
Just because you
I
believe in
don't
something
know.
doesn't automatically make it true,
Correct.
because being transgender is
Correct.
not actually a mental illness.
I never, but it's something I do not believe in. So
Just
am
because
I
you don't
a
believe in it
bad
doesn't make
person?
it wrong.
No.
And just because you don't believe in it doesn't make it true. Like,
Yeah, because no. You are allowed to do whatever you want. Correct? Just like I am. You have your beliefs, I have mine.
and
I
we should
never
both
said
be
you were
able to
wrong.
exist in public in the exact same way, because we are both men, right? So we should both go to the men's room, yes?
Oh yeah. Well,
And
I can't
your
completely
wife
agree with that.
is a cis woman. She's going to go to the women's room. My partner is a trans woman, and guess what? She's going to go to the women's room too.
Okay, that's fine.
And if someone were to try to come at my partner for being in the correct bathroom, by the way, uh, I'm going to stand up for her because she's not doing anything wrong. She's just in there to pee, just like your wife is. So why
Yeah,
is it okay for your wife to be in there but not mine?
and obviously I don't. Obviously, I think you are a good person, and
I do
I
try
think
to
we
be, yeah.
would get along. But also, when it comes to my 5-year-old daughter, and okay, and obviously, I am going to use the extreme and the ones because now I'm going to talk about the exception to the rule, which I shouldn't, but it's my daughter.
Yep, I got one
I
too.
will
So
fucking
I get
kill
it.
somebody for my daughter.
Oh yeah,
She's gone through
I
enough.
would too. If
So,
a predator was coming after her, yeah, I would absolutely stand up for her, and I would expect you as a father to do that too. But assuming
okay.
that a
So
trans woman in a
now,
bathroom is a predator is inaccurate.
correct, correct. I could assume somebody wrongly. I could. And I'd rather do that 100% of the time than anything happen to my daughter.
Right, but is it right for, say, my wife, right, to be accosted by you when
No,
she has not done anything wrong? You're just assuming
no,
that she is for simply existing in a bathroom the same way your wife is.
correct. So now, what would you like me to do? Obviously,
Leave her alone and
yes,
let her
yes.
pee and wash her hands and put on her makeup or whatever, check her makeup and then get out of there.
But
Like,
no, if I
just
if
which
I
is exactly what
thought
she's going to do.
she was a threat, what
Why
would
would
you
you?
do in the same sense?
Okay, so let me
I
ask you
don't
this:
know. No, I'm just
her
asking. If you
her just
thought,
being in there using the bathroom, doing normal bathroom things, just like your wife is, right? If they're in there together and their behavior is exactly the same, why would you assume that mine is a threat? I'm not assuming yours is a threat to my wife.
well, no, because obviously it's a 2-second thing. Like I obviously do not know what your wife looked like or anything like that. I'm
She's
saying
in
if
my
I
profile
felt,
picture. If you want to take a look, she's in my profile picture.
let's see if I know how to do this while I'm on live.
Hello, my name is Alex. I am a 25-year-old trans woman.
I think that's her.
It's a black and
Like,
white picture. I'm
yeah,
in the
yeah. I'm
foreground and
not getting a
she's
very
behind me.
big picture.
So she's also got a profile and content and stuff. So, if you wanted to go and see, but I mean, she's not a threat just for existing in a bathroom doing normal bathroom things. Now, I could see if there was someone in the bathroom, and let's say just for shits and giggles that it's a trans woman, if she in any way tries to like corner your wife or your daughter or like get them in the stall, like does something that's inappropriate, that's predator behavior, yeah, go after him because that's a predator.
Oh, oh,
But
right.
simply existing in the bathroom as a trans woman is not predator behavior. So why would you be
No,
threatened by
no.
it?
I'm not saying I'm threatened by it. It's your parents. I'd rather I'd rather be wrong 1,000 times
So you
and
would
make
rather
sure nothing.
hurt someone
Yes, I'd rather
else.
be wrong 1,000 times and nothing happened to my child. Especially this one because you don't know the history with her.
I had
Yeah,
a daughter
no.
with history too, so I get it. I do. In fact,
Um,
most women and or female sexed people have some kind of experience of that nature. So, or like have
so
something, that is sensitive. I'm not going to get into that, but
yeah,
yeah.
and my wife did. A lot of ex-girlfriends did. So now talking about my daughter, uh, sorry, I'd have to put your if I thought, like, and this is why she goes to the bathroom with me, and
Right. Again, like I think that you would be monitoring for predator behavior, right? So like let's say that you're at Walmart, right? And you've been walking around the store and you've kind of, seen the same person over and over again and maybe you've even seen this person looking at your child and then your child has to go to the bathroom, right? So wife and daughter go into the bathroom and all of a sudden here's this person who was already kind of seeming like they were like always there and they were already looking like they were looking at your daughter and then they immediately follow your wife and daughter in there. That's predator behavior, right?
yes.
But
If you're
just,
yes,
if your wife comes out of the bathroom and none of that happened prior to, right? And simply says there was a trans woman in the bathroom, I think, but that's it. She's just existing in the bathroom doing normal
correct,
bathroom things. Is that a
correct,
threat?
correct.
Like would
No,
you
no,
confront that trans woman?
no, no,
Okay.
and obviously, I think we do agree upon a lot of things. I feel like there are people who are trying to take the steps and live a normal life, and obviously, there's people who could be trying to take advantage of
Yeah, I
certain
mean, could be, but
situations.
the instances of,
Right.
again, instances of cisgender men dressing up as women in order to gain access to women in the bathroom, the instances of that happening is very incredibly rare because again, a predator is simply going to predator. They're simply going to do what they are going to do, right?
Bad people are going to
And so
do
going
bad
to those
things.
lengths
Yes. Yes.
is
There's
almost like
there's a
counter,
reason.
like why would they go to all of that when they could just essay somebody in the bathroom? You know what I mean? They don't have to
Correct.
dress up to like do that.
Well, no, you don't. But I'll leave it at that. Um, no, that's why I stand outside when a
Right. I mean,
girlfriend or
I
a
also
wife
I also
or
stand outside whenever my daughter goes into. So I mean, I do get it from a dad perspective. Of course, you want to protect your family, okay? But who you're protecting them from is predators, not trans
yes,
people.
correct. I'm not saying just trans people. It's bad people.
Right.
We'll always have bad
And I mean, there
people.
are bad people in any group, right?
But see now, as a father, we're just adding
Well, yeah, I mean, I would
another
definitely say
layer.
be vigilant, but also know that just like take away from this, trans people are not inherently bad people. They're not out to get anyone. They're just trying to live. And in this instance, we are talking about a public bathroom situation. They just got to pee just like anyone else does, And again, my wife is going to be safer in a women's restroom than she would be in a men's room, but your wife is also safe with her in there, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
So
but now, yes,
everybody is
yes,
is
this
is
is what
safe.
you are saying. Okay,
But if
this
my
is
wife
what
was
you are
forced to
saying.
go to the other bathroom, her likelihood of
are
being
you
attacked goes way up.
okay? So now, once again, now it's point of perspective. Um, so your wife is a lot older than my daughter, correct?
Correct, but it doesn't mean that her health and safety are, any less valuable.
Why? I believe your wife has much more experience, could protect herself a lot better towards oncoming
Yes,
attacker.
yes, she could, but listen to what I said though. If if
Okay,
if
but did you
if
listen to
my
what I
wife
had to
goes
say?
into the listen, if she goes into the men's room, she is far more likely to have violence expressed upon her. Okay, but if she is in the women's room with your wife and daughter, all three of these girls, are safe. But if mine has to go to the men's room, she's
Says
not.
who?
So,
Why?
so what I'm
So
saying is
so
because
you're
mine
saying
is
men are
in the
just bad?
bathroom does not make your child any less safe.
No, so you're saying men are bad.
Yeah, I am actually. And I'm a man,
Okay,
so
so now in the same sense, so now a man trying to transition into a woman who could have the same bad.
it's just that trans women are women, they're not men, which is actually the first point on my list here. Trans women are women. Trans men
Sure.
are men. So we're not
Okay,
talking about a man who becomes
but
a
you just
woman.
said
No, she was
men are
always a
typically more
woman.
bad. So you're worried
No,
about a man becoming a woman,
no,
going
I'm
into a
talking about
woman's.
men, cisgender men who might become violent towards my wife in the men's room.
Okay, so now I can't have the same worry about the opposite there when it comes to my daughter.
Well, again, if there was a law, right, that would force my wife to go to the men's room because apparently that makes your daughter somehow safer, which it doesn't. But if we did that, I would have to go to the ladies' room. And now here is an actual man in the ladies' room. How do you feel about that one?
And see, now if you are talking about actually how I feel, you are
I
not
mean,
a
would
man.
you feel threatened by someone who is a man being forced to be in the ladies' room now because I've got a vagina,
I
but I look
I would have a
like a
lot
man?
harder time defending myself or my family against a biological man. I mean,
Right. Well,
obviously,
my
there
my
could be
uh,
times.
wife actually doesn't have the strength of a biological man because hormones have caused her to become much weaker and much smaller. So
Okay.
that's like a huge misconception is that people think that, trans women are automatically going to have all of this strength that men have, but they
You're
often don't.
still stronger than
So,
the typical woman. The average
yeah, but
woman, they're
also
still
my
stronger.
my partner is not going to be attacking anyone. She's just trying to pee.
And okay,
And
so
that's what
stop using your
most trans
partner
women are
as
just trying to do, with
your
the only
your
exception being those who are predators. So again, we're worried about predators. We're not worried about trans people.
correct.
Okay.
So now
I feel like we're
make
kind
it
of talking
simple.
in circles at this point.
We are, because now obviously we all want our rights and everything like that, but we all want the same thing. Okay, so safety. You feel like if your wife is going to get attacked because she has to go to a male's restroom, the same fact that I feel like my child could get attacked.
See, either
So
way, think about it like
no,
like
no,
like this.
no, no.
Either make this law, like whether we've got this law or not, there's going to be a trans person in the ladies' room. So either this is a trans person who is a trans woman who looks like a woman who is simply doing woman things in the woman's bathroom, or it's going to be trans men who look like me.
So then
So
what
either
we're
way,
asking for,
trans people
honestly,
will
what we are
exist in
asking
public
for is
bathrooms.
that no matter what, should just be men can go into women's can go into men.
No. I'm saying men should go to the men's room, women should go to the women's room. Trans women are women, trans men are men. We belong
Okay,
in
but
our
now
respective
there's different
bathrooms.
beliefs. There's different beliefs out there, though.
Okay, I mean, you can believe whatever you want, but the facts are I am a man, my wife is a woman.
Okay, can you impregnate a woman?
No, I actually got pregnant three times. Thank you. I did all the work. But that's cool.
Yes.
I'm a man who
Yes.
has had babies. It's called a seahorse dad.
And that's what you would like to call it, which
That's not what defines a woman though, because there are plenty of cisgender women who can't have babies. So are they not a woman if they can't have a baby?
and see because because obviously there's disabilities, there's things that happen in life that you
Right.
cannot.
So saying that a woman is someone who can have a baby, that is that is not accurate because there are lots of cisgender women who cannot have babies. So that's not
Correct.
a really accurate definition of what it means to be a woman.
Okay, fine.
And so
I'm honestly not trying to argue this hard with
does not
you.
make me a woman either, because reproduction and your ability to do that does not define gender. Are you tired yet?
Always. I'm a dad.
Yep, same.
Always tired. I do love that you are passionate about it, because yes, and this is where I'm trying to tell you, you're not wrong, but you can't say somebody who disbelieves with you is wrong either.
I mean, but there are scientific facts that would prove their belief to be wrong. So it isn't that I think they are wrong. It's that science thinks they're wrong, actually.
Okay, but now do you not think there's other studies out there who could argue that?
I mean, all of the psychological and other scientific medical journals that are, published in actual fact, they all say what I'm saying.
So I'm assuming you're more on the liberal side, correct?
Certainly not a conservative. Ew.
But now do you not see, I'm not trying to bring politics into this by any means, but there's
I don't generally talk about politics anyway, but yeah.
Okay, so now if I don't believe in what you believe in and you just expect me to understand.
Okay, so we are able to have different beliefs, sure, different opinions, sure. Everybody has what they believe and what their opinion is, and that's valid, okay? But the thing is, it becomes a problem whenever someone's beliefs threatens my health and my safety, or someone else's health and safety.
Okay, so now health and safety. So a man going into the bathroom with my daughter could be safety.
Well, yeah, if a man goes into the bathroom with your daughter, that could be considered a safety issue. But we're not talking about men going into the bathroom. We're talking about trans women.
If I'm allowed to call myself a woman today,
but I mean, are you?
Don't have to it
isn't about calling yourself one. It's about being one.
Yes, but now we're talking about predators.
Yeah, again, you're worried about predators, not trans people.
Because now you're opening up another door.
But thing is, you were talking about a man going into the bathroom, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about trans women, and yes, so they are women using the bathroom.
What is stopping me from calling myself a woman then? if I'm
The
a
thing that is
predator,
stopping you is your self-identification of what your gender is for you. That's
which
what's stopping.
predators do not give a flying kite about because there's
Right,
bad
but a
people.
predator is going to do it without the extra steps of dressing up to do it. That is so rare.
What?
So rare.
Okay.
If a man wants to take advantage of your wife or your daughter in a bathroom, they're just gonna go in there and do it. You see what I'm saying? They're not gonna put on this show. They aren't gonna like try to say that they're someone that they aren't. They're just gonna do it. You know what I mean? And yes, that would be a matter of a man being in the bathroom, and that's not right. Just like it isn't right for trans men to be in the women's bathroom either, because like again, you can see me. I think it's pretty small because we're on this and my frame is super small on this, but this is what I look like. I mean, I've got a full beard, receding hairline, like deeper voice. I look, sound like a man. So if there were laws that stated that you have to use the bathroom that aligns with your assignment at birth, I would then be forced to go into the women's room. And your automatic thought watching me go in there would be that's a man going into the women's restroom. So you would actually be probably more threatened because I actually look like a man walking into the women's room. So it's actually more appropriate for trans people to use the bathroom that they identify with, because trans women
No, it's a
look like
catch
women.
22.
They are women. They just need to pee. So do you want people who look like women to be in the bathroom with your wife and daughter? Or do you want people who look like men? Because you would have trans men being forced into the women's room. And we would
No, it's
look
a
like
catch
men
22.
in the women's room. Like you wouldn't be able to know what is in our pants unless we tell you. You see what I'm saying? And that's the same thing for trans women. Although trans men do tend to pass a little easier than trans women, and I think that that's part of the problem is that you're viewing it as a man in a dress, right? But that's not what's going on. That is a woman who is trying to just go to the bathroom. She has masculine features, maybe because she had a male puberty that she underwent, and there are certain things that happen in a male puberty that are irreversible, right? So having a deeper voice, as an example, that's something that trans women can't undo once it's been done to their bodies. Same for trans men. Mine will never go back up even if I stopped hormones. You see what I'm saying? So that action within the body is something that can't be changed, but that woman is still a woman, even if she's got a deep voice and an Adam's apple. You see what I'm saying? Um, she's not a threat though. She's just there to pee, just like any other woman. And honestly, like again, if the tables were sort of turned and these laws were passed, then you would have trans men in the bathroom. So either way, whether there's a law or there isn't, you're going to have trans people in the bathroom because every human has to pee. So whether it's trans men who are forced to be there because of a law and we look and sound like men, or it's trans women who are in the bathroom because we don't have a law, you're going to have trans people in the bathroom, period.
All right,
Like,
so
because
now,
everybody has to.
curiosity,
So which do you
bathroom?
prefer?
No,
Someone who looks
honestly,
like a man
the one
and you can't
I
tell if they're cis or trans?
I would prefer signs to birth. If you were a female assigned at birth, use the
Okay, write it
female.
down, and I'll look at it.
If you're asking what I prefer, um, is that okay?
I mean, which would you rather? Trans men who you can't tell, because like me, people can't tell that I'm trans unless I tell them, right? You don't know what's actually in my pants. I look like a man, I sound like a man, and
Well,
so in the
you're a little higher
bathroom,
pitched.
it would look like a
I
man
mean,
in the woman's bathroom.
well,
So I would also be perceived as a threat simply because I actually look like a man. But then there's
okay, but are you a threat?
trans women who maybe have some masculine features that they can't get rid of because of their male puberty that they went through or
Sure.
whatever. but they are attempting to live their true lives and simply need to pee just like any other human, and they are also not a threat. None of us
All right.
are, really, but it's like, what is the perceived threat, I
But you
guess?
already said when it comes down to it, men are typically the bigger threats. So if we take out the biological men going into the
Sure,
female
but you wouldn't
bathrooms,
be able to tell whether or not I've got a penis
sometimes,
or not.
okay, but you don't have a penis. You
Right, but
were
you don't
born
know
as a
that.
female, correct?
Right, but
Correct.
you
Okay.
you don't know that. You can't tell. Because
No,
I'm also here to
correct.
tell you that I use a device. It's called a packer, and it creates a bulge in my pants. So it looks like I've got a penis. I don't. I look and sound like a man, and bathroom laws, would force me into the woman's room. So I would literally look like a man in the bathroom with women, right? Or
So
you can have trans women in the bathroom who are actually women. They actually belong there. Just because they've got a penis doesn't mean that they're going to do something with it. Also, hormones and hormone blockers can suppress their ability to actually use their equipment, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Um, so they're really not a threat, by the way. Um, I don't know. It's either way. I mean, if you've got a law about it, then you have trans men in the bathroom. But if you don't, then you've got the trans women. None of us are actually a threat, but we still have to pee. And we should be allowed
yes,
to pee in public like everybody else.
correct. I never argued that. But now you're opening up doors to
What door?
allow other people using the other bathroom. Because
What do
now
you mean
if
other people?
predators,
Right. Well, predators can look a lot of different ways. There can even be cisgender women who are predators. They could exist in the
yes,
bathroom too.
yes. But now all we're doing is opening up more doors. I don't understand how you cannot see that, because every time we have to acknowledge that somebody else has feelings towards something and you want the rest of the world to acknowledge and change rules for, you're opening up doors. And I'm
Okay, but
not
we are
saying that.
trans. We are not choosing to be trans, by the way. Being trans is not a choice. It's simply how we're born, and it has to do with brain and body not connecting. And that is a whole experience that actually happens and is valid, and people like us exist all over the place. We still have to pee, right? When we're at Walmart. So it doesn't really matter which bathroom we go to. We are actually at risk every time. Um, because people hate us for some
at
reason.
risk at
And
risk
that's
for,
again why
you're
we're
just
having this
saying
conversation.
violence?
Wait, say that again.
Are you saying you're at risk just for violence?
Yeah.
So obviously they should be able to be able to tell the difference between a man and a woman then, because obviously if you haven't fully gone through the cycle or transition or anything, so you can tell
Okay,
that
but
either you're a man, but
trans people don't have to pass in order to be valid in their gender. Okay. Again, like trans women definitely struggle with passing more than trans men do, and it's because the effects of testosterone are so powerful that they change the body in irreversible ways, right? So someone who is assigned male at birth, they go through a male puberty, and then they
but then
transition later. Some of those effects of that puberty, they can't change. So they may
okay,
not pass. And
so you
passing does
but you
not make them invalid as their actual gender.
and I never said it, but you also mentioned beforehand that you would never be able to tell in certain cases. which
In certain
may be true.
cases, yes. And this is
Yes,
why
but in
the
some
bathroom
cases
bill is
you
problematic.
can.
In fact, my teenager, he's 16, just wrote down a little argument that I would like to also put out there, because this is not something that I've said yet, and my kid's got a point. Okay, so let's say that a bathroom bill is passed. What is going to stop a cis male predator, right, from pretending to be a trans man and say,
Correct.
"Oh, I'm trans." You you can't tell, right? So what is
Well,
so see predators are still going to be predators no matter how
yes,
you try to
because
legislate trans people.
now this is the thing though, because now say I'm a man, born a man, I could identify as a woman tomorrow. There's nothing stopping me saying that I can't be. There's no legal obligation. And now apparently people just have to accept my new decision. And that's the problem.
Why is it a problem to accept other people for who they tell you that they are?
Because it's you cannot just go about saying, so I'm going to use something very silly, abstruse. Why can't I be a cat?
That's not a gender issue. That's a species thing, and being trans species is not medically or scientifically proven to be a thing. However, being transgender is medically and scientifically proven to be something that exists in humans and also in animals. Animals also exhibit transgender things as well. So one is something that is a thing
So
scientifically, medically, and one isn't.
Okay, so now let's say a year from now, they say like, well, no, I mean, we have so much DNA, such and such, where, because I think the closest thing we have to right now is monkeys. So now could I identify as a monkey then? I mean, I think we're 90% relative in DNA.
But that is still talking about the issue of trans species, which is medically and scientifically not proven to be a thing. Whereas transgender is something that is medically, and I mean, because we are still different species. Even though monkeys are close, we're not the same, so you can't be a different species, basically. That is not a scientific or medically proven thing.
No, but now I'm asking
And
now if
being
they
trans
come
is.
come up with it in 5 years from now. I never said
They
right
won't
now.
though,
I said in
because
the
that
future.
has actually been
Oh,
explored and it's
do
been
you not think?
disproven. However, trans
Do
people have existed for as long as people have existed. So, but we aren't going to suddenly think that that's something that is true when it's already been medically and scientifically disproven.
and see, this is the part where it's probably best just to go our separate ways, because obviously you're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change yours. And we don't want to be disrespectful, which
Right, of course not. And honestly, what is your like actual name? I just see J Herbert. What is your name?
Joel.
Joel. Okay. I am Daniel. That's also not obvious. So hi Joel. I am Daniel.
Nice to meet you,
Um,
Daniel.
and I honestly feel like this has been a very respectful conversation. I think that we agree on
A
things,
lot of things.
and then
Yeah.
we also disagree about things, and it's okay to have a conversation where we don't necessarily change the other person's mind, but hopefully you have learned something or you were able to think about it in a way that you have not thought about it before, and that's
Oh,
maybe the goal.
yes. I like I told you before, I have a very good friend. We actually pretty much talk daily, and she's a transgender, so he, um,
Okay, so
and
are they a trans man or a trans woman?
a woman, and see, like this is
So like
She
female
was
to
a
male
woman.
or male to female?
Yes. Yes.
Female to male?
Female to male.
Okay, so am I. There you go. So, I
Yes,
mean, and
and
so
I
like
have
hopefully I have helped you to understand their experience a little more.
oh, for sure. We talk like there's can I ask you about one person here? I guess I don't know your full stance here. About that Jeffrey person.
Which
Uh,
Jeffrey? Because there are two different Jeffreys that are being discussed a lot, and I can never keep it straight whenever people ask me like which Jeffrey we are talking about.
he wants to talk to the children.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Okay.
What about him?
Thoughts on her? I guess.
I think it's they, them. They are non-binary, so they don't identify with either male or female. And so their pronouns are they, them
Okay.
in the singular form, which is possible. So
Okay.
I guess you are wondering about like
Your
how do I
thoughts
feel about them wanting to
towards
talk to the children or what?
yes, and the way um they them want to perceive themselves because
Okay, so yeah, on this, like, first of all, Jeffrey is doing this on TikTok, right? So not approaching people in real life, not like directly talking to your child in the middle of Walmart. Do you see what I'm saying? They are making a video on this app which separates you by a screen, right? So Jeffrey is not threatening in that way. There is no physical threat here. And also Jeffrey always says, parents, watch it first,
no,
right? So
no, he does
you have to
not.
have
No,
that
he does
filter
not.
there.
No, he
Actually,
does
I've seen
not say
Jeffrey's
that.
videos, and yes, Jeffrey always says, parents, watch it first and then give the phone to your kid. And that is if that parent chooses to do that. So there is a parent filter there, and Jeffrey is simply trying to educate.
No, I'm going to have to disagree because I've watched multiple videos where he does not say parents watch it first. And the fact that he wants to talk to children one-on-one is
I'm
an
a
issue.
trans person who's certified as a teacher. Am I not allowed to talk to kids?
About school? Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'm actually a theater arts teacher. So that means that we're exploring literature, characters. Sometimes kids want to explore, like playing the opposite gender on stage. Am I not supposed to let them do that?
I believe you are, as long as they bring it up first. I
So yeah,
believe
so
teachers.
like on topic then, right? So but again,
Oh
like
no,
just because
no! Do
somebody is
not
gender
try
different
to.
does not
No.
mean that they should not talk to children, is the point that I'm trying
Okay,
to make.
but now is Jeffrey a teacher or what?
See, I don't know Jeffrey well enough, or like on a personal level. We are not like friends or anything. Um, so I
That's
don't
fair.
know what Jeffrey does. I think that Jeffrey is like an author. So yeah, an educator in a sense, because
No,
but like,
no, please do not say that.
and what if Jeffrey was?
So now, so if I consider myself an educator, like say if I wanted to, uh,
I mean, I am a certified theater arts teacher, sure, but I'm also on this app every single day educating about gender issues. Should I not do that?
you are not a genders teacher.
No, but
You
I
should
do
not
know
be
a hell of a lot
teaching.
about it. So if
I'm
you
not
know
saying
a
you
lot
don't,
about something, you can teach someone else about something. Kind of like,
but
if
you
your kid
cannot say you're educated about it just because you may
Okay,
know.
so this
If
is
you do,
circling right back to the topic of education. So if your kid is struggling in math at school, right? Math, and they come home and they want you to help explain it to them, but you aren't a certified math teacher, should you then not teach them about math, even if you know math really well? Should you not?
when it comes to my own kids, yes. I would never
Sure.
say like,
Okay,
hey,
so what
I
if
can
your
teach
next door
other
neighbor,
people.
what if their kid is struggling in math, but their parents don't really know math? Would it
So
be not
obviously
okay
they'd
for
be
them to maybe
asking.
approach you about tutoring about that?
Obviously the parents would be asking.
Okay, and again, Jeffrey, and maybe not every single video, he doesn't always say it, but he has said it enough that it's kind of the baseline that watch the video, because clearly the videos are going to the parents' phones in the first place. So I think
Uh,
that it's kind of understood that if you want your kid to see this, hand them the phone. If you don't, don't.
okay, but now at what point in time, because obviously in this day and age, kids could have phones at 10
They can't, I mean,
and
yeah,
come
sure.
across.
But also there is an age limit for this app. I think that you have to be 13, I think, to have a TikTok. Um, which obviously kids are going to make accounts and things anyway. Like parents need to be very vigilant
Correct.
about
So
social
now
media,
shouldn't it
blah, blah, blah.
be
But
more
the
on
thing
the
is,
people who
like,
are trying to inform and not the children? Obviously, I will say,
sure,
no, I
yes. Again, this is social media, and it is very easy for kids to have access to things that their parents don't necessarily want them to see. But I think that Jeffrey's messages to kids are not harmful. So
okay, but now once again, it's a 50-50 thing here. So if half the population say like, hey, could you
right,
reel it
but if you
back?
consider Jeffrey's message to be harmful, like have better
I'm not
control
saying
over what
no,
your kids are watching, I guess, or don't hand them the
but
phone.
why does he want to talk to children?
Because trans kids exist and they need to see trans adults and non-binary gender adults and
Okay,
get that
so once
wisdom.
again, okay, so then either the parent knows that the child could be transgender or something along that, which they might agree, correct, with Jeffrey and everything, like, and it
Sure.
wouldn't be an issue. Like, oh yeah, no, watch this person. But
And
why
see,
does
again,
Jeffrey just
I don't personally know Jeffrey. I don't know what I can get a sense of what they are trying to do with the videos, and that is to be a visible trans non-binary adult with wisdom that could be passed on to a child who is thinking about gender, who is questioning gender, right? Or any of the topics that they are talking about.
but now could I do the same thing and say talk about God and
And guess
say
what?
like,
There are
hey kids,
creators who do that. Yes.
well, I guess I have not seen any,
There
so
are
I would
there are
have to
youth pastors who get on this app and direct their
towards
religious
kids.
stuff towards kids. Yes.
Okay.
So why is it wrong for Jeffrey to do that? And Jeffrey isn't saying anything harmful. Just talking to trans
No,
kids or
no,
or
there's a few
kids who.
videos talking about like, hey, your parents messed up. If you need to talk to somebody. It could be me. Yes, they messed up, and you can talk to me. Like that does not sound like I cannot say that to another child as a straight man. I'm sorry, your parents messed up. Come talk to me. That is a very, very
Well, see, a lot of
predatorial.
parents, and again, it kind of goes back to your argument about the 50-50. What is
Can,
the majority
can you?
here? A lot of people
Can,
in that majority don't fully understand trans people. And so what they're saying to their kids is actually harmful. And so why not have someone who knows a lot about
so
it
once
actually talk
again,
to
so
kids
you're
about it?
saying parents don't know how to raise their kids,
Some
is what
don't.
you're saying.
Some don't. And that is a fact. That's like why we have CPS and stuff. Because some don't.
Oh yeah,
just
that's
just because you
typically like
have
meth
kids
addicts
doesn't
and
mean that you're
people.
going to be a good parent. Doesn't mean that you're going to always be right. In fact, we are always all of us have some things that we're not great at as parents. Would you disagree with that?
Oh, no, correct. But
Right.
now,
We
in the
all
same
make
sense, you want
mistakes.
us to accept you and your
I mean, yes,
beliefs, but
because I'm a
now
human
we
being in
could,
the world. It
yes.
all
But
comes back
now,
to humanity.
let's say if there's enough people where we could cancel all of you, should that be right?
No, because that would be considered a genocide. So let's not do that.
Correct. So now it's all of this. Like, do you want me influencing the children that you have for my belief?
It depends on your
It,
beliefs. But yeah, I mean, like clearly parents
thank
should
you,
be in
thank you.
control. Parents should be in control of what their kids have access to, what they're learning, but also there is nothing wrong with learning more about about a certain group, right?
Which
And
you
this
can
is
do on your own
we
time,
are
and you
circling
can
all the
teach.
way back to the
Yes, we
education
are.
conversation at the beginning. We've
We
been at this
are.
for like 2 hours, it feels like. You and I alone have been at this for about 2 hours. Um, yeah. So yeah, I mean, yes, parents should be in control of what their kids are learning, but also there are some people out in the world. Have you ever heard the phrase "it takes a village to raise a
Oh,
child"? Right.
yes.
So with that concept, yes, other people can teach your kids about something that maybe you're not as knowledgeable about. And there's nothing wrong with
Correct.
that. And I think that that's what Jeffrey was after, was to maybe teach a little more about something that some parents, a lot of parents actually, don't fully understand or can't really teach their kids about. That's
Okay,
it.
so then bring it to the school board.
Sure. And again, this is back to that same conversation. Like,
Yes.
should LGBTQ be taught in schools by professional teachers who are trained, certified,
Yep.
and then we're teaching it at the age appropriate way? So I think that what
And
you're
it needs
saying
to
is
make
that yes,
sense.
teachers who are qualified should be teaching this, maybe not the parents if they don't fully understand it, and not just some rando who's not qualified. You see what I'm saying? I think that we are actually in agreement on that
To a certain degree, because
to a certain degree. Okay. That's better than not at all. And it is 1 o'clock in the morning where I live. I am in the state of Texas. I'm in Central Standard Time, and I do have a daughter who has to get up, and I have to drive her to school in the morning, and I also have to go to work. So I should probably end my live and end this
yeah, it's one
conversation
o'clock.
just for that reason. But honestly, Joel, if you want to follow me, I will follow you
I,
back, and I
I will.
encourage you to learn more about trans people through that
I think
connection.
I'm already following you. I
Awesome.
think.
I will follow you back if I see a follow from you. I don't follow back everyone anymore. I did when I had a smaller, but it's like,
I
too
get
many
it.
people
I get
having
it.
access to my friends
Yep.
only stuff is like, okay. But
All
yeah.
good.
But no, I
I
would love to actually be friends and to continue to learn from one another. There's nothing wrong with learning,
perfect.
right?
Yep. I'm all good with that.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and end this so that I can wind down and get myself into bed. So
Have a good night. And yeah, do
yeah,
you, boo boo?
thank you. Great,
Good night.
great conversation. Thank you.
Yes.
Good night.
Yes. Yes, it was. Night.